Jesse Hill, man. Real name, you know, no moniker, no alias. Couple people call me J Hill, that's about it. There was a time when I got inspired by hip hop. Then there was a time when I got inspired to actually start writing and practicing the craft of hip hop. So I'd say the man, it's hard to even think about the earliest inspiration of hip hop because I just kind of grew up around it. I got lucky. I had a cousin that used to babysit me, which sounds crazy because he was a young man himself, but my mom trusted him enough to let him watch me while she was at work doing her thing and whatnot. And he was a real big hip hop head. He always had anything that was popping at the time. It could have been Wu, could have been DOS Effects. It could have been like some R&B shit. It could have been like some crazy like funk music. He was just a music head, but it was primarily hip hop. So I got to hear a lot of the classic. I got to hear like a lot of Wu. Like I said, I heard the Big L. I heard a lot of KRS. Heard a lot of Poor Righteous Teachers, Rakim, and I just heard like a lot of great music. And then after that, I'd say I kept up with the game like from there, because I started getting older, and then I was paying attention to the stuff that was real like big. I'd say in my childhood, like kind of around like middle school and getting into high school and things like that. I feel like that was when I really started like digging into who I thought was a dope artist, and I started paying attention to the things they were saying and just the moves that they were making throughout their career. But I didn't get inspired to write, honestly, until just a few years ago. It's crazy. I was always a big fan of the craft, but I didn't take the time to actually start doing my own thing until a few years ago. And I feel like that came about from just dealing with life, just it's kind of a way to sit down and reflect. It's almost like having your own journal or like a diary or something like that. You can kind of take your own thoughts and just make it more rhythmic, and next thing you know, you go from rhyming about just little things in your life, and then it transitions to a certain message you're trying to put out or whatever your theme's going to be. So you just start playing with different ideas. But I always thought it was just dope that you can have an idea and kind of paraphrase it to sound nice on a beat. But at the same time, there's just so many dynamics of it. You go from talking about yourself, you go from talking about, I don't know, hypothetically speaking, you want to take a shot at somebody, you can talk about that. You want to talk about the current state of hip hop, you can talk about that. You want to talk about politics, it's up to you. It's free reign. There's no rules, it's infinite. It doesn't stop. There's no boundaries, and that's what I was always, I was always infatuated by that. You can talk about anything you want to and make it sound however you want. And I'm kind of one of those people, like I lean more towards the individual things. Like I skateboard, and that's what my main attraction to skateboarding was, is there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. Progress as much as you want to. Put as much into it as you want to. I mean, the tricks that you want to do, you can do your own, and I look at hip hop the same way. You can do whatever you want to it. I feel like there's still a lot of segregation, and not on like a racial aspect of it, but just crabs in a bucket almost. I'm still learning along the way, but from what I've seen so far is a lot of hate between artists, unless, like you're in that clique, they kind of co-sign. It's one of them things, like if it's your homie, yeah, you're going to co-sign for them. But I feel like a lot of artists, they kind of just like downplay other artists, you know what I mean? Like I feel like everybody's stuck on being the man, that they don't want to shine the light on anybody else, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I think there's a lot of dope talent, and I feel like Louisville as a whole needs to unite. I mean, even if, you got your differences with this person, sometimes you just got to be a bigger person and put those to the side and look at the better cause, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of compare it to just the state of people right now. A lot of people got their differences, hatred towards one another for whatever reason it might be, but nothing's going to change until you put that stuff to the side. You look at the bigger picture instead of just, living in your own little reality. You got to deal with what matters at the end of the day. Like, the way I see it, it's all bigger than us. We're just a tiny piece of the puzzle, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like you got to put the ego to the side. Like, I remember this quote. I forgot who said it, but I won't ever forget what they said. And it said, an ego is a journey with no destination. You got to have confidence, but if you live within that ego or that entity that, you build up in yourself, you kind of lose touch with everything else. Honestly, man, you know what I would like to see? I'd like to see, like, somebody go back and do the research on local hip hop artists. I want to know who was, like, the first people, like, coming out of Louisville trying to, like, get into the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd like to see that. And I'd like to see how things changed over the years. I'd say, me personally, what I bring to the table, I lean more towards just, the classic, the essence. And it's not that my style has been, I don't compare it to anybody else. I feel like everybody's their own thing, unless you're one of them people that's literally trying to mimic somebody else's moves. But I feel like I don't sound like anybody else here. I'm not rapping over those same kind of beats. I'm not going to say that I'm talking about something completely different because, there might be somebody out there, we might be on the same shit. I'm all for it. I'm all for people doing them, whatever it is you want to do. Like, if you're building or destroying, do you. You know what I mean? But I feel like what you get from me is you're always going to get the positivity. I'm looking to uplift the community. I'm keeping it honest. You ain't got to worry about no facade, no fallacies. There ain't going to be no fake, I'm exhibiting my art without drawing up an image. I guess I'll say that. There's no hidden agenda or anything like that. I mean, I'm just getting started, so there's a whole bunch I want to do. There's so many talented artists that get overlooked just because of the oversaturation, in the hip hop, rap. Like, we live in the day and age where anybody can become a rapper. Like, if you got, if you got a little setup, you got a mic or something, anybody can literally make a SoundCloud and be a rapper. Like, you can become a rapper overnight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can just sign up for it. But I still feel like there's a huge difference between a rapper and a true artist or a true MC. There's definitely levels to it. My goal is just to become a true artist and become a true MC. I'd like to not just be labeled as just a rapper. Because at the end of the day, I'm just me. I'm not one of these rap dudes, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in the club. I'm not popping bottles. We ain't making it rain. I ain't spending hella bands. I ain't pulling up in the foreign. Ain't no designer clothes. Ain't none of that going down. I'm chilling up at the skate shop, watching skate videos. I'm chilling with the homies. playing 2K, or you'll catch me at the crib reading a book, writing a 16. It is. You know what I mean? It ain't glamorous, but it's me. And I'm fine with that. Y'all can have all that. Well, first and foremost, major shout out to Floyd and Allison for letting us come through and do this at the skate park and at the Cure Lounge, because I feel like that's half the battle, is just having people that are open-minded enough to let you do events like this. So that's huge. So thank them for that. And I feel like for me, what I'm going to try to bring to it is, it's for the people, it's for the kids. I want the kids that show up and skate / come to the show. I want them to have a great time. I want this to be something that they can look back on and be like, man, like, I remember when I went to that toy drive, or I remember when I went to that skate contest, or I remember when I watched that Cypher. And I want them to have a series of emotions they can look back on from it, and something that they can take with them. Hopefully, it'll motivate them to follow whatever it is they want to do, like, even if they don't want to go through with hip hop or skating, hopefully it makes them realize that you can do the things that you want to do while uplifting everyone around you. Like, just like I said earlier, it's not always about you or whatever you're doing. It's not always solely about that. There's always a bigger picture behind it. It's like me and you rap, but it's bigger than rapping. It's bigger than hip hop. We're looking to embrace the actual hip hop community. We want it to progress. We want things outside of hip hop to progress. Like how you're acknowledging the epidemic. I think it's dope that hip hop led you to something that is way bigger than hip hop, a problem that is, just literally killing people every single day, worldwide, not just here in the city, but on a worldwide level, and has been for a long time. And, you got some guys out there who are actually conscious of it, and they'll say something, but not enough people are. So that's a huge thing. And I just hope that things like that continue to happen out of what we do. Like with the toy drive, hopefully hopefully a lot of people will get touched by the fact that we're willing to take, time out of our day. And, like, I'm broke, but I don't mind going out and spending a little money out of my, my own pocket to help out somebody who's a lot less fortunate than I am. My mom was single for a while, so I remember how it was growing up, single woman trying to come up with money to take care of a Christmas. I mean, it's tough, half of these jobs out here, they don't even pay you enough to pay your bills just to get through life. So let alone, you're not going to have enough money to go out and provide for a family on Christmas. There's a lot of people out here who probably have never experienced a Christmas. So I think it's dope to be in a position where we're raising awareness for that, and we're actually getting toys, and these are going to get distributed to families that need it. So it's just things like that I hope come out of it. I hope people have a good time and enjoy the hip hop, but I hope they also take in mind the message that's behind it, the reason why we're doing it, Like, I think it's bigger than that. So it's for the kids, it's for the homies, it's for the single moms out there breaking their back every day at work, just trying to provide for their families. It's for everybody, man. Hip-hop's huge, man. There's a lot of people that get affected by it, and they don't even know it. So really, with that being said, Join us Thursday, December 14th for Louisville Underground Appreciation Day. It's going to be a hell of a show. A lot of talented artists, talented DJs, great people will be in attendance, good vibes. I mean, it's going to be the best of everything. So if you ain't too busy on your Thursday evening, come through and, join in on a hell of an experience.